Hello and welcome back to the MyTrek.it game server. This is the USS Enterprise pre-build. I believe we can call this one episode 4. And I went ahead and done a lot of work. In fact, I've been at it for about 6 hours since the end of the last episode, just plugging away. Heller was able to get on the server and we chit-chatted a little bit about some issues. About hull size and what goes where, and it's pretty good information. The guy knows his business, that's for darn sure. It made it a lot easier for me knowing what needs to go where in some of those 1 and 2 high areas. So that'll work out great. I can just set them aside and we pop those out when we get time, or when the ship itself. We separate out the ship for individual deck development. We'll be able to tap those areas out real quick. Little questions about the placements here. As you saw as I kind of run around the side of the ship, that I did get these hatches dropped. What I'm thinking about doing with these hatches, I try to keep them uniform all the way around because this is pretty uniform as it is. I can move those hatches here in, I would say 2 at the most, and then I could move these in 2 as well towards the strip itself. But this is the issue we run into with rounded hulls. How do you make hatches look good without morphing the hatches? If you morph the hatches, you got to morph the pods and everything else underneath of them. Well, one way we can do it is have the area around these. The area that these hatches take up. You're going to see some chat when I do this, so just bear with the chat. But basically, set an area up underneath of these, like so. Oops, excuse me. Just a big square, and that way there, whatever the pod itself can go in here, can just be dropped down in there, and then we can skew the upper part of the hatch. So even though this area underneath is perfectly square, the hatch itself can be sort of skewed a little bit, as long as the center beams of the hatch, like this part right here, stays, kind of like that, or whatever. So, it's kind of difficult to, well, actually, let's give it a shot here. Let's see if we can get it done. We'll use orange. How's that sound? I don't want to go too far. I got to stay within the boundaries here, so we're going to have to do it like this. There's those. I'm going to go back one more out. And then we go like this. Again like this. It's kind of funky, I know, but what can you do? That'd be 1, 2, and then it'd be, whoops, something like this. Anyways, kind of get the idea here. It'll look something like this in the end. Just a little bit off, I guess, is the best way to put it. But, as we screw around with it, we can kind of change it around and do whatever. But, yeah, that just looks atrocious. I know if I really put my mind to it, I can do it. But, yeah, that just does not look good. But anyways, that's one of the ideas. I'll probably end up moving these in. I wanted to keep the yellow at least 2 blocks away, so I can move this in by 1. So I'd probably move those other ones in by 1 as well. But anyways, the idea is as long as the capsules below it are all the same facing direction, the top hatch really doesn't matter. I mean, it's just a aesthetic thing at that point. It wouldn't be functional because you're sure as heck not going to pop a hatch in Minecraft and launch an escape pod. So, just saying. But if you had to, it'd be an interesting fit going out of that hull. But let's go over here. I had to do a lot of restructuring on the interior spaces. A lot more than I thought I would need to, but it is done. I'll zip on over here. I did. This is where the pod will go, so there'll probably be some dead space above it. But you know, it is. The crew will access the pods from the corridor here. Anyways, it'll access these pods anyways from the corridor right here. And then over here was in. It's just kind of dead space, but I wanted to leave a big area open for machinery here, and again here, and here, and of course here. So whatever systems we decide to, you know, we could even repurpose them for any room, whatever. It's pretty much right now. It's just, you know, empty rooms that can be put into anything. And I added a couple of corridors. Whoops, I wanted to keep that too. Come on, there we go. How's that look? We're going to get ahead and hit, I think it's Z? No, X. There we go. Z, Z, Z. There we go. It doesn't look too bad. It does look a little funky wonky as it kind of goes around the edges and stuff. But overall, because it's following the contour of the hull above it. That's why it's kind of a little funky looking. You get those little gaps and stuff. But it doesn't look all that bad. I gotta say, it really doesn't. Actually, it looks a lot better than I thought it would. So that's good, you know, very good. So this deck is actually coming along pretty good now. I went ahead and moved the turbo lift, so we have turbo lift access to this side, and that meant I had to slightly change out this room here. It's still got a lot of the same space, a little bit smaller, but you know, not too much smaller. But it is a workaround. And you know, you'd want a turbo lift out here. You don't want to walk all the way to the center of the ship to get in a turbo lift. I also added another gangway system here. This will go, you know, from this deck, which actually I haven't pathed it yet, so it'd be something like this. Whoops. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Because it's only too high through here, so it doesn't really need to be. And it's. Yeah, we gotta stop right there because that's where that is. Anyways, haven't really decided how I want to do this. I don't like when I have specific corridor blocks. I don't like going too high because then you're getting into the whole area. So this will probably just be, you know, at this point it'll just end, and see if we can do this without making a complete mess. Yeah, that'll work. And there'll be a door right here, and you know, we can leave that there. But you'll come to the end here, and you'll just kind of walk around, and then come down the gangway here. I tried to set up a standardized gangway system, but in some areas of the ship, like right here, it's 3 or 2 deep, so that does cause a little bit of an issue. But I'm trying to keep the overall shape the same. So. And I also just started reversing these blocks. So I needed a block there, and the only way I could kind of get through there without hitting the hit point there is to put us upside down stairs. I put glass here because I don't know if we're going to actually use this one or this one. This one right here does use this, so most likely this one won't be used for anything. But it's there if we need it, and we can add more to it. What else did we get going here? Oh yes. Yeah, I'm gonna move this guy. I went ahead and added a bilateral, I guess that's what you would call it. Jeffrey's access. It's only 3 wide, which is fine because it's just a straight shot, no angles, so it won't, you know, won't jag us out. But it kind of worked out well because it matches up to this system here. And again, there's another small phaser strip back here. I didn't see it until I was outside working on the hull. You can see it. That's the right in front of us there, right over there where that red is. That's another phaser strip. So somehow we're going to have to get power. These don't. Whoops, darn it. We're going to have to get power from there to there, and I think we just figured it out. So that doesn't need to be there. And whoops, darn it, fill both of those up. So it'll just come around here. This will all be phaser equipment anyways, most likely. I can move this in. So this doesn't have to be right here. It can be moved in a couple of blocks. You know, actually, you know, let's go ahead and do that as we're sitting here talking about it. Nope, wrong spot. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Get a lot of new people on the server. Some of them are still learning etiquette. So you gotta I gotta move when I'm doing recording, or I'll end up getting swamped with requests for cadets, and the cadet system is on hold. It has there's just not enough people on the server active anymore to run the cadet system. So if you want to, build a ship using a monumentous hull you can get from planetminecraft.net, just learn to use MCEdit. It's a really simple process. There are plenty of YouTube videos up explaining how to use MCEdit. Grab MCEdit and grab a small ship. Grab some deck plans from Cygnus. There's a link in the description for Cygnus's website to all these videos. I put a link to that website in all the descriptions that for our videos. And just grab the deck plans and kind of do what I'm doing here. Just clean up a hull. You have to mask those hulls, because if you don't, you'll end up with some oddities and artifacts and things like that. Or don't. It's up to you. But just build out a small starship. I got my start by making ugly Novas. Nova class starships, and they're on the server if you want to go look at them. I think they're still on the server. If not, you can go to Planet Minecraft and see them, and you can see the evolution. It took me quite a while to learn, my build craft, and and I'm still learning even today. I learned some stuff today that I didn't know. It's an ongoing process. I have learned a ton by working with MadSqurriel, DeBomb, Ipanic has even taught me. Loki was a really good source for learning stuff. He was the main guy on the Enterprise D for a long time there. Death Monkey, he was when he was on the server and active. I learned a lot from him. Culkin, and a whole bunch of other guys. So none of them did videos, and this is one of the reasons I do videos. Is it helps people kind of see how the process is done. So like I say, if you want to show us what you're capable of, by all means, just grab one of those monumentous hulls, clean it up, build it out using deck plans, or just make your own deck plans, and show us. And at that point, that's how I got my start here, and that's how I'm recommending people do it now, since the absence of having any system for promoting people. And I'm sorry that we just can't give everybody build rank here. They did have a free build server for a while, and it devolved into a troll fest. And there's too much on this server, and too few of us to moderate. That aren't dedicated to building, and because of that, we have to take steps for time saving sake. And unfortunately, the cadet system is one of the ones that had to go. But again, like I said, grab a monumentous hull from planetminecraft.net and build a ship out. MCEdit is really easy to learn. As far as all this other stuff goes, you can easily set up by using mods like Forge and ModLoader Lite, all those stuff. In fact, I think Ipanic even put a list on how to do it, or steps on how to do it. It's really simple. And you can get Gamma Bright, because one of the main reasons I came on the server and started using the server is because way back in the day there was no way to light up. You had to either have not invisible, but night vision on all the time, which was really hard on the server because people kept spamming potions, or you had to put torches up everywhere, and I couldn't work on the server and work in the dark. And then they came up with a way to use Gamma Bright, and once I got Gamma Bright, it was pretty much done deal. I just moved onto the server and started working on the server. And ironically, the first actual server ship I built on this server was the Sovereign, and they had it in this big Bluephobes had built it, Starbase or Space Dock, and we put the Sovereign in there, and that's where it was. And I built that thing literally, mostly on the server. Once the hull and once the decks were laid out, I did all that in single player. But once they were imported into the server, I was on the server and working on it pretty much exclusively. So, and now all the same tools that we use on the server, you can easily put into a single player game and do the same thing. But it's a lot more fun when you're working on the server, because then you can collaborate with people like Imheller and things like that. But if you're doing it yourself, you can always come on the server and see how we're doing it, or watch some of the videos, or even download some of the other Star Trek ships and see how people did their stuff. There's a lot of resource material out there to help people. And you know, the cutaway shots of some of the ships, the side shots, I guess they call them MSDSs or whatever they are, they're helpful too. You know, if you need a starting point, just look to one of those, and you know, you can get a pretty good idea that, you know, computer core goes here, turbolift goes there, Jeffries tube goes here, so on and so forth. But yeah, build a ship, show us what you got, and if you know it's a good ship and it's a good build, and we don't suspect that it's a theft issue, I don't see why you couldn't talk to us about, getting whitelisted to build on this server. Then again, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of dedication to stay focused on building. And even some of the best builders I've worked with burn out, and I haven't seen them for 2-3 years. Death Monkey, Loki, they just hit a wall and that's it. They walk away, and I hate to say it, but I think we've lost a lot of good people, and I'd like to see more and more good people join the server who are interested in building these ships. But to be honest with you, it takes a toll. And that's one of the reasons why the system was set up originally, was to make sure that the people that did join the server stayed, had the dedication to do the long haul, and life changes and people move on to other things, but it is what it is. So if you got the time and you really want to show us what you can do, that's what I recommend you do. You just grab those hulls, build a small ship, like a Nova class or even like an Equinox, something, and just build it out. Let us see what you got. So I think we were over there last time. We weren't there. I'm kind of buzzing around the hall here, seeing if I can see anything that's sticking out at me that irks me. Oh, I put these windows here. I wanted to see what it would look like if I put windows here, and it looked up pretty good. It came out on the hall. Just slightly have to change the positioning of the magenta, but that's okay. And of course, this is for feeding power to this phaser strip from up here. We could even go down and across, because I think I'm almost certain that a couple of decks below this, probably maybe even the hangar deck herself, right underneath. Actually, I should do it right underneath this turbo lift, which would be the hangar deck. Set up the main junction line, the big Jeffries tube that'll have all the support power beams, all the support circuitry coming out this way. I think I'm going to talk to him about that, because I think that would be a good idea to do that, to run it out here, because this is probably one of the larger sections of the ship, and this is where the phaser is. And if I'm not mistaken, the upper phaser and then the lower phaser is right here. So that would be a good place to start that. Then we could stare it down to the lower decks. All kinds of neat stuff. All kinds of neat stuff. Anyways, this is where these are. Again, these will probably get moved back one. So, or not. I don't know. May not move them back. May just keep them where they are and try and fix those upper ones a little bit, make them look a little bit better. What is this up here? Oh, this is derp. This is where I've been working on the Jeffries tubes, or the gangway system. I like it. It does actually look pretty good. I like that pattern. I think we're going to try and keep that. Also added another one back here. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you this real quick here. Darn it, where'd it go? Well, first of all, I went ahead and pulled out this area here. This can be a catwalk. This right here doesn't need to be here. I haven't removed it because I want him to know that this is originally a deck. I'm sure he could figure it out himself, but so this would just be another smaller cargo bay. Again, the main one is right here. Then these areas here, like this one here, is another cargo space, and then this would be another 2-story cargo bay, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is like a small storage room, and just like we did with the Voyager, how it has access to all the decks. That's kind of what we're doing here. Yeah, and if we do it, the lift would still come up to here, and then you can offload backwards. Offload out the side or through here. I don't know. Wait a minute, we can't do that, can we? Anyways, we'll figure something out. But you could easily set the catwalk to come across here, and then this would all be deck up here, and then big door right here. So every deck has access to a cargo bay, well, a cargo lift, anyways. And I'm sure I'm going to leave where the cargo lifts go. I'm going to leave that placement to M. Heller, because I think he has a really good idea of what he wants all those to be. And then again, you know, this might even change. So this is all prelim stuff. This is not the actual build. This is the design process to get a style and pattern that we like kind of ironed out, to work out a lot of the bugs and a lot of the kinks in the system. And if something happens, it's a blueprint for somebody else to pick up the ball and run with it if something happens and I don't continue the project or M doesn't continue the project. So I also added another catwalk, not catwalk, but I kind of swore it was right there, but it's actually up here. There it is. Another setup here for gangways. I'll check that out. That doesn't look right. I think that's a fluke. I'll fix it. Anyways, yeah, gangways. So the ship has, you know, areas in it that'll allow players to go down and players to go down. To allow for, let's go ahead and see if we're being bugged. Nope. If you're on the ship, it'll allow you to get down inside of the ship, move down through the ship and stuff like that without too much of a problem. We'll see if that was actually needed, because what I'm doing, oh gosh darn it, come on. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a hit point right here. So yeah, that has to come forward one, which stands to reason because that's the pattern I'm using over there, so it should work here. There we go. And doop doop. Darn it. Darn it. There we go. And I'll just change that to magenta. Get rid of those. Now this here could just be an upside down stair. Like that. I can't do that with these, but I probably could. Nope, can't do it. They hit hitboxes. Oops, darn it. And this would be magenta as well. Come on, let me back up there, please. There we go. Right there, it's fine. Yeah, I've got to have gangways, got to have Jeffries tubes. I even put some Jeffries tubes here, as you saw. Kind of one of them goes so. And then it access down here and goes along the side of the long length of the ship. It'll also probably, this won't be actually be any, this will just be like a 0G hatch. In fact, I better put something there real quick so people know it's a 0G hatch. There we go. We could put columns in here or something, or rails or tracks or whatever anyways, so that we can actually run a thing down through there. But again, it's above the hangar, so I don't think it's actually going to do that. I got to figure a way out to. I don't really have to. I guess I could, but you know, you don't really need all your. Well, it will connect. Excuse me, it will connect. It'll when it connects here and goes the length of the ship. Where is it? That's actually down below us. When it goes to the length of the ship, it'll connect to the 4, and then it'll run along, and then it'll have connections to the rest of the ship. So all the Jeffries tubes will connect together, and eventually they'll all end up here. So, anyways, I appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen to me ramble on and so on. And again, this is the Minecraft.net game server, and I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button, subscribe if you'd like. It does help the channel, it does help us here on the server, and I do appreciate your time. And have a great day. Bye.